you go to finals at Rod Laver Arena,
Big deal.
Melbourne Esports Open. This is huge, big audience. This is going to be one of the biggest games that some of these players, the biggest audience that they'll get to play in.
It is
so
pretty much all the players.
It is a massive deal. So if you're a fan of Overwatch here in Australia, definitely have a look, grab some tickets, particularly if you live in Melbourne. I'll be there, you'll be there, and potentially one of these two teams will be there. At the moment, if it's one of them, I feel like maybe it's going to be Masterminds, but Avant going to be doing everything they can right now to make this a shot for them. However, Winter, first one to go down. USMC, really, we've seen the Junkrat in this same position a number of times across Season 2. They're always very, very difficult to deal with.
Indeed. What Avant want to be doing here is forcing Masterminds off this defensive position. The ways to do that, of course, is to get Winter around the back. Now, he was denied that the first time. We've just seen him getting through the side this time. So Avant Gaming now have the possibility of being able to make a dive work onto this position that Masterminds are holding. But they need to wait for Taki to, or for Addy to respawn. Here comes the dive,
here's the dive. Let's see what we can do. Legabrill already very low, picked up in the end, actually, by the support. USMC finds one as well. Legabrill picked back up there by Numu, but I suspect it's not going to be enough. Nice little cleanup there coming out from Masterminds on defense. Addy at least does find Taki, but the rest should come out.
Oh no, that's huge.
Oh,
Addy's come up absolutely massive. Now there's a chance. Now there's a chance for Avant, Ben.
They need to make the most of this, Jordan. Two players going to have to come all the way back now as well. We'll see whether the dive can come out. Are they going to be able to get onto the point? Can Addy find any more picks? KS1 forced back into the room. Avant on the point, but they've taken a long time to start getting ticks here.
Doesn't matter because it's still going to be a long time for Swilko and Taki to get back into this fight.
Oh, here we go. Big one, big one. It's only Legabrill, but they'll take that. This might be enough for Masterminds to bring it back, Jordan. Addy almost goes down. He's picked up by Taki. They did not even get 1/3.
That's really bad. That's really bad.
All for nothing.
Avant, they needed to get that point there because if you get the kill onto the sniper and onto the Mercy, and you don't get the point, you got to think, how are we going to get the point here if we're Avant? Because, like, what on earth has happened there that they're not able to get the first point? I just don't understand. Mastermind somehow managing to trickle back in there. Sure, USMC had the Riptide, but he only got 1 kill off of it. Taki's going to go down again to Addy. Now there's another opportunity for Avant Gaming, but Swilko is still alive here for Masterminds, and he's got Valkyrie popped as well.
Going to try and take the high ground. Winter in behind the Orisa. This could be pretty big. Looking to find the kill. Still has not been successful. Finally takes KS1 down. Looks maybe like they're going to get the picks, getting the picks all together. That's ideal. That's what they want to see. Winter holding onto this Dragon Blade. Doesn't need it yet. Doesn't want to pop it yet. Wants to save it to see if they can sort of snowball onto this second point. Winter with Dragon Blade. Sleep Easy with Transcendence. That may be enough, but it's going to be tough up against Masterminds here. USMC swaps the cost. Brings out the Brigitte.
It's to deny the Genji here. USMC is just going to be jumping straight onto Winter as soon as he hears that guy yelling and screaming about his magical sword. And August 9th with the Transcendence as well. That's going to make it tough for Winter to cut through the Masterminds players. So really, USMC and August 9th are key here in denying that Dragon Blade. And if the Dragon Blade is denied, then Avant Gaming are going to really struggle to get this point.
They kind of split up as well. Into the room we go. Winter comes through with the Dragon Blade, looking to find some kills. Gets forced back. Crimson Wolf going to lose the mech. That's going to make life real tough now for Avant pushing through. Winter did not manage to get any kills either here. Goes down, Sleep Easy down. Mastermind should be able to clean this up. Crimson Wolf looking for a self-destruct. Not going to be able to get there in time. Loses the mech again. Going to get forced back. Probably picked up. See you later. Avant needs to reset. 4 minutes 10 on the clock. Still plenty of time. However, that could have gone better.
Avant needs to be putting more pressure onto August 9th there before Winter jumps in with the Dragon Blade. Of course, he's going to hang on to the Transcendence as long as he can, but if you have a Winston and a D.Va on top of you, you're probably going to force Trans early, in which case maybe it gives more of an opportunity for Winter to get something done with that Dragon Blade. But as soon as you jump right on top of August 9th, he pops the Transcendence, and USMC's right next to him on Brigitte. There's absolutely nothing that Winter can do. Now USMC swapped up onto Genji. More kill potential for Masterminds now, but Avant Gaming don't have the same kill potential on their own side to make inroads into this point, so that's okay for Mastermind.
All right, let's see how we go again. Avant pushing back through, but unfortunately Sleepy's the first one to go down. August 9th looking low. They're trying to find a 1-for-1. Not going to happen. Mastermind pick up 2 more. Look, I don't even mind the strats that Avant are using here. They're coming down the right-hand side. They're kind of splitting off at least one support from the rest of the team. But then they follow Masterminds, who retreat very quickly into that left-hand rune. And when they do get into the room, they're getting cleaned up.
Yeah, your August 9th is also charging up the Transcendence faster than Winter is charging up the Dragon Blade, so there really is no opening right now for Avant Gaming. They've once again kind of defaulted back to the full dive setup. Addy's going to go on to Brigitte here. No more Widowmaker for him. He's not really having the impact, so I think that's a good change from Avant. But I'm not sure that it's going to be enough to get through Masterminds now that they have Primal Rage up and they have Transcendence up. That's so much point stall for Masterminds available here on this point that Avant Gaming are really going to struggle to get through this, even with 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock, unless they can force Transcendence here and allow Winter to use the Dragon Blade in the next fight.
Self-destruct comes through, and Crimson Wolf is the one who's found out by USMC with a huge triple kill Dragon Blade. For me, that's a Macca's play of the game right there, Jordan. He knew that the Devil was out of mech, and he took it down before he had any chance to get back in.
Yeah, and using that ultimate is really of no consequence for Masterminds. Obviously, they get 3 kills in that one. They win the fight off straight off the back of USMC with the Dragon Blade, but it does keep the important ones alive. It keeps the Primal Rage alive. It keeps the Transcendence alive, which are going to be the really big ultimates here for Masterminds when things start to get closer to overtime, where Avant really has their good pushes coming into this point. But right now, how is it going to be a good push when all you've got to kill enemies with is obviously the Dragon Blade from Winter? He's going to be countered straight away by KS1 and August 9th. So it's still difficult for August 9th. They're still looking to force some of those ultimates out of Masterminds. And again, if they can't do it in this fight or the next, they're not going to have any fights left.
Yeah, going to try and push through this time, but Tucky's already found Addy. Winter with the Dragon Blade trying to find Noz, but there's so many heals coming out. It's going to make life really difficult for Avant to do anything. As you said, when they don't have any damage to start with, if you can't get through the Primal Rage, if you can't get through the Trance, what can you do? Yeah. Masterminds find some kills. There's no ticks on the board. Avant doing their best, but it is not going to be enough. They can't really deal with Taki. He's got free reign there on the Widow. They've got no way to get rid of... Worst case scenario, if you were to bring out a Baron now for Masterminds, not that they need to, there's still nothing that Avant has to deal with this. So we're down to a minute on the clock.
Yep.
They've got a self-destruct. They've got a Dragon Blade. They've got a Valkyrie. This is going to be real tough.
The good news, at least for Avant, is that Winter's been able to charge his Dragon Blade up again to 80%. Last fight, they forced Transcendence. They forced Primal Rage. Now Avant are going to have another Dragon fight available for this fight, where Masterminds don't have their defensive ultimates. And this is the real opening for Avant. Winter needs to come up massive for his roster. Addy with the rally is going to help him out, but it's all on Winter here.
All right, going left once again. Surely 5th time's the charm for Avant Gaming. Dragon Strike comes through from USMC. Sorry, Dragon Blade almost goes down, but you can see the heals are so strong. KS1 is low,
Winter.
but the picks have been going for Masterminds. Winter brings it back, finally takes down one. That's Taki picked up, looking to find another.
He might have done enough.
Good.
He might have just done enough there, Ben. He gets a couple of kills, gets a lot of damage across as well, and the kill was cleaned up by Avant Gaming. So now they're going to start to be able to get some ticks on here. They need their supports to come back in time. There's going to be self-destruct out from Noz on the defensive side here as well, and Winter's going to go down before the fact. Actually, I don't think Avant are going to be able to get this now. They just have to trickle too far. They haven't got enough done with the Dragon Blade, and Avant Gaming, well, they're not going to be able to push through the Transcendence, that's for sure.
No. As we said, Jordan, these defensive ultimates, KS1 bringing out the Primal Rage, August 9th still sitting on this Transcendence, not even going to need it, pops it in the end because he knows that they have been successful here on defense. And Avant just with not enough. There was not enough DPS, they weren't getting the picks that they needed. When you've got that spawn advantage for the defenders, it's really, you need to get all the kills in a very short amount of time.
It was barely even the spawn advantage that helped out Masterminds there. It was just the fact that Avant continually rammed their head against the wall. There was the Transcendence available almost every single time that Winter used his ultimate. And by the time that Winter finally was able to get a fight there, where he had Dragon Blade, where the defenders didn't have their defensive ultimates, unfortunately, USMC had the Dragon Blade available to Masterminds, and he used his before Winter was able to charge his up. Winter was sitting at like 90% when USMC threw out his Dragon Blade. There was no counterplay for Avant Gaming. Both of the supports went down straight off the bat to USMC. And Masterminds did a great job of just handling their ult economy there, and Avant really never got on top of things in that respect. So Avant not able to get a single tick there on Temple of Anubis. In my eyes now, Ben, this series is all but over unless Avant can hold it on that first point, because you've got to expect if Masterminds can get the first point here, if they get point A, they're going to be able to get at least one tick on point B. judging by the form that they're showing so far today. They're looking really, really good, and Avant is just not stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I guess as we kind of alluded to this earlier, that Masterminds should be able to win, you know, in a 1v1. Masterminds, the players on this team, very, very talented. Avant catching up across the board, but, you know, it's difficult. You're not always going to have, you know, be able to rely on pure skill. You need to have some good strats. You need to rely on team play. And unfortunately, it seems like Masterminds just looking a little bit better across the board. Avant, on the other hand, I'm ready for them to get this, Jordan. We said that this was their shot. Obviously, they need to make it count right here, right now. But a full hold on the first point, that would make life all that much easier and would give them some great momentum heading to the fourth and final map.
Which they desperately need at the moment, don't they?
Yeah.
Because they've got nothing going their way at the moment today, Avant, do they? Addy going to be going back onto the Widowmaker, looking for some cheeky picks early, but doesn't really get any opportunities. He will spot the info there for his roster, knows what Avant Gaming is going to be running here. It's a little different. It's going to be the Orisa Hulk, so there's no dive out, of course, from Avant Gaming this time on the defensive side. But Masterminds, of course, going to be defaulting back to that dive setup. USMC to get around and back, and Addy already losing an aim battle against Taki. Not good news, but Winter's able to pull one back. Unfortunately, Taki's 2 from 2 now as he gets Addy again off the res.
Yeah, so no res available and no sniper available now as well here for Avant on defense. USMC in the back line doing work. Now onto the tanks as well, almost free reign. And it looks to me like Masterminds, they've got control of the high ground. Normally it's the defensive team, not this time around. As the attacking team doing work. Maybe enough to get the picks. No, not going to happen. Sleep Easy down. USMC in prime position, has a Dragon Blade available. Probably not going to want to need or use it here.
This is over, Ben. This is absolutely over.
This puts them in prime position to pick up point B. And let's be real, Jordan, at the way they're looking right now, there is very little Avant can do to stop them.
The momentum at which Masterminds is able to knock over that first point basically really allows them so much breathing room here to head into the second point. And now best case for Avant Gaming is going to be just a tie to make sure that Masterminds can't get that first point on here on a Temple of Anubis, which is not going to be enough. So essentially Masterminds with that now have secured themselves a place in playoffs. It's at worst going to be a 2-1 in this series now for them, but it's very likely going to be better than that. It's USMC with the Dragon Blade.
Well, KS1's found one, but Winter actually picked USMC up. That's a pretty big pick. Masterminds pushing through. Crimson Wolf going to use the self-destruct once to grab the mech back. Won't get back into the mech, however, Noz finds the kill. Another big kill. KS1 at least takes down Legabriel. Masterminds pushing through on the point. Only need 1/3 here, Jordan. It's not like Avant has the full 100% to work with on defense. Masterminds really don't need to do that much here.
Absolutely not, and Mastermind's doing a much better job of focusing down targets than what Avant Gaming were doing just in that initial fight. Hasn't really been good enough just yet to cap the point out, but you can see how low some of these players are. Addy was a one-shot for a moment there, still seems to be alive for the moment. But Primal Rage there for KS1 is going to clean one up, and like you said, Transcendence now coming out here for Masterminds, and that might be the final blow for Avant Gaming.
That's though just holding the ace up the sleeve, Jordan, and there we go. Will be used in the end. That's how you use your ultimates. Avant Gaming, unfortunately, will go down to Masterminds 3-0 right now, which means Masterminds lock themselves into third place. Avant Gaming, unfortunately, will not make it into playoffs in Season 2. Means they have to go down to Trials. They're going to have to work their way back in. To be fair, I think they're going to go pretty well in Trials.
Probably.
But it's not maybe what we thought we'd see from Avant this season.
No, definitely not. They were, remember, a team that came through from Contenders last season, now being knocked down to Trials, so that's really not where you want to be. The ideal goal for a team, for example, coming from Trials is to make playoffs. The ideal goal for a team from Contenders is to absolutely not get anywhere near relegated back to Trials, and unfortunately for Avant, that's going to be their scenario here. Serenity, you have to give them congratulations as well, because with the result there for Masterminds, that does mark them as a team that's going to be going through to playoffs as well, and as a team that's come from Trials, that's a very, very good result for them. I think that they've looked really good throughout this season, and I do think Serenity, as a general rule, has looked a lot more consistent and a lot better than Avant have so far, and I mean, obviously so far. We're in week 5. They have looked a lot better throughout this season, and so they deserve that spot in my opinion.
With both of these teams playing in Season 1 as well, the storyline that I was telling, or I thought would be the case, was this Avant team coming through and improving for this season. To be fair, I feel like they are playing better. They have improved, just that everyone else has improved as well, right? So Serenity's played well. That last season, you would have thought that was a game.
The Serenity team's way better than last season.
Yeah. So to be fair, when everyone improves, the rising tide lift all boats, right? That's great to see. It just means that you're not guaranteed that playoff spot.
No, definitely not. So Avant, it's unfortunate for them. They've got one more map. We still have to play this final one out. They're going to be playing essentially for pride here because they're going to be going down. They're going to be going out of playoffs. But at the end of the day, you still have to play out your entire series. So look, at least a 3-1 for Avant. They can hold their heads high and say we won the final map that we played in Overwatch Contenders Season 2. But this will be the last map that we get to see from Avant Gaming in this season of AU Contenders. They're going to hope to be back next season as well if they make it through trials, but this will be the end of their run here in this season.
For Masterminds, they're going to be feeling good. Don't have to. Firstly, they're locked into playoffs. Secondly, they don't have to play drop bears.
Also, they don't have to worry about getting knocked back down to 4th place because there's no way that Serenity can catch them. Now, with a 3-2 record is what Masterminds will have at the end of this series. They're not going to be caught by Serenity at the moment, who have a 1-3, and the best they can get is 2-3. So, all in all, Masterminds have really accomplished what they set out to do today, and they've done it in very, very good fashion as well. They've really looked very convincing over Avant Gaming so far in this series, and I don't expect that's going to change when we do get into Escort, which generally is a bit more favorable for Masterminds than it is for Avant anyway. So, Masterminds, they're really getting themselves some good momentum heading into playoffs. Is it going to be enough to deal with Order? Well, we have to find out when we get to playoffs, but I don't think it is. In saying that, though, this is the best possible run that they could have had.
This is what they had to do. Let's be real. They needed to win today. They wanted to get some momentum from today. And it would have been, if it had been a 3-2, even a 3-1 where some of these maps were really close, I would definitely be saying, well, this Masterminds lineup, I don't think they can take it to Order. But right now, the serious potential for Masterminds with 2 weeks of prep for Order can take it to them, and it could be a very good game, could be quite close.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, we'd hope that it is going to be, but that's a story for a couple of weeks' time when we do get to playoffs.
Route 66, Jordan, we haven't seen much Route 66 so far this season, so makes me happy to a bit of change of scenery, change of pace.
It's funny how we were talking about Rialto maybe being the spanner in the works for most of these teams.
Except everyone's played it.
At the end of the day, it's actually the most played Escort map of the entire map pool. Masterminds have actually played a lot more Watchpoint Gibraltar than anything else, at least of these 3 options. But Rialto has definitely been the one that Avant have been going on to. And, you know, again, they haven't had too much success across the board on Escort, but it has been their better map of the 3. We actually haven't seen them on Route 66 so far, so this one's a bit of a toss-up, I think, for Avant Gaming. They're just going to throw it in there. You know, they've got nothing really to lose here, so might as well play a different map, see what happens, and give it a crack. But I do think that kind of plays into Masterminds a little bit. They've got a lot of very, very experienced players that will know this map from, you know, previous map pools and that kind of thing. They've also played on Route 66 before this season, and they did win on that one as well. So I don't expect Avant's going to get anything on the board here. I think, like I said at the halftime break, this is going to be a 4-0 in the favor of Masterminds.
Bastion time.
In saying that, they have gone for a little bit of something interesting here with the Bastion. I think both teams at the moment know that this map doesn't necessarily matter as far as the standings are concerned, and so for Masterminds, they just want to try something a little bit funny, see how they can go, and maybe try some new strats heading into playoffs, see if they can catch anyone off guard and practice some of these out there ideas.
Well, they know the Bastion's there now, and it's going to be like, well, that's a surprise. Let's see what USMC can do here, whether he's going to go down real quick to someone getting their flank on or whatnot. But for now, not half bad, doing some damage. And that Holt as well, you know, that can draw everyone in and give you a good place to get some shots on. But Masterminds don't drop down. Feels like that's something they're going to have to do shortly here. Then it's going to be free reign for Avant to keep pushing. The payload finally gets stopped. Yeah, they lose a number of players. The payload got quite a bit of the way around through the first phase.
Yeah, see, Avant is really respecting the damage that the Bastion can do, not taking the peek if they don't have to. This is smart, though, from USMC. He's going to change up his position now. That whole push is really going to be under pressure for Avant Gaming. They're not going to have an easy avenue in. I guess the best case scenario for them is just to come through that tunnel on the right, on the upper right or on the lower right, dive in on the Bastion and try and catch him off. But realistically speaking, you've got some big, bulky tanks in front of that with the Mercy Pocket as well. It is going to be tough to catch this Bastion out, and Avant Gaming probably going to have to adapt their roster to deal with it, or they're going to have to wait for some big ultimates to come back up, and I suppose Dragonblade being the operative one there for Winter.
Yep, well, USFC does have the ultimate available, the tank configuration. However, let's be real, sometimes just staying in sentry mode is even better, Jordan. So if you can get the damage down and save your ultimate for when you need to drop down onto the payload or get out of dodge or something like that, it's probably your best use right now. Got players to the left, players to the right. With the payload, it's moving. Here we go, throws in the Dragon Blade. And as we said, save that tank for when you need to get out of dodge, need to move around. USMC very much successful in that scenario. Great work. Avant now with 2 minutes on the clock. We're going to have to reset, try again.
Just under no pressure at all is USMC. As soon as Winter jumps in there with the Dragon Blade, he knows what to do, and you can bet your bottom dollar that USMC is going to be charging that tank form up again quite quickly indeed. Not much to deal with him in this next fight either. I mean, Legabriel is close to the Primal Rage, but you don't really want to be a monkey jumping in on a Winston because you just can't survive long at all, even with Primal Rage available.
It'll take a Transcendence to get them through, and you can see USMC falling back right now as well. Trying to stay alive, at least they've got the high ground. And Taki going to go down finally to Addy Winter, trying to push through. He's right behind him as well. And you know that big glowing block in the back, that's where all the damage, if you can hit him right there, you'll see the Bastion goes down. And finally they are successful. Look, Wilco picks him back up.
Successful, but for a moment, it's like you said. USMC, he's like Jesus, he's been resurrected once again. And he's up to the tank form, 99% once more. Winter only at 70%, so the big damage-dealing ultimate for Avant Gaming is not there in time. This is looking far, far too easy right now for Masterminds.
I think easy is definitely the word of choice, unfortunately. Avant looking like maybe they're not going to be able to get through here right now. Maybe this Primal Rage will be enough. Let's see what Legabriel can do. Maybe they'll be able to push USMC off the point. At least he's ready in tank mode to jump back down and try and cause a bit of damage, trying to stay out of any trouble as well. Getting a little bit low, got to be careful. Finally picked up. Maybe is this the time Avant are going to get it across the line?
There's not going to be a res available there for Swilco, so finally USMC's kind of been forced out of position there just by the pick that actually Avant Gaming got earlier on. Not that he necessarily was forced out of position, but he had to try and make a play with that tank form. Couldn't make the play, and that is going to allow Avant Gaming to push on through, but it is going to be more or less in overtime. So they've really wasted a lot of Avant's time there, Masterminds. They've gone and defaulted back to something a bit more standard. Hanzo coming out for USMC, and only at 2 minutes and 20 seconds for Avant to get through to point B. It's still not an easy task, but they do have a couple of ultimates available. They do have an economy advantage for now for Avant Gaming, so there are those openings.
Yeah. Look, a lot of quality Bastion time on stream needs to make up for the lack of Bastion for the rest of Season 2, so I don't mind seeing a little bit of Bastion from time to time. Winter trying to take down the snipers is successful. USMC goes down. Not bad at all. Taki's been picked up, as has KS1. So, maybe this is going to be enough for Avant to get something going. Winter also finds August 9th, who was using the whole hog. Got a bit of damage done, but not enough. Avant continues to push through with his payload. Mastermind's going to need to regroup and find themselves a bit of a foothold to work back from here. Feel like maybe they gave a little bit too much away, though, by playing that Bastion comp at the start, Jordan.
Maybe. It worked out pretty okay. Here's the Dragon Blade out, though, from Winter. Let's see if he can open things up. August 9th. Oh, the stun across from USMC does save him. And now this is starting to look a little bit more dangerous for Avant. Crimson Wolf, though, 2 with the Diva, with the self-destruct. That'll be enough to push this one through to point B, capture that one up, and force us into point C.
That's a big play. You see that the mech just sort of zigzags through, threads the needle, Jordan. And it's hard to get out of the way. Addy now pushing a long way forward, looking for the picks. Will find Swilco as well.
That's a little bit of a blunder.
That's a fight over for Masterminds this time around. And now 2 minutes 10 on the clock, going from point B to point C. Payload ready to move. Crimson Wolf on the Zarya as well. Let's see what they can do now.
It's not going to cost Masterminds too much because they're still going to be able to set up here. But obviously, a couple of nice shots hit there by Addy. You want to be seeing more of that. Avant Gaming definitely under the pump still with only 1 minute and 50 seconds on the clock. Masterminds, because of that really strong hold on point A, they have so much time already dealt over to Avant Gaming. There's not much to play with here for Avant.
August 9th going to actually pick up Winterer. Not half bad when the support can pick up the DPS, particularly when it's the Genji. USMC here on the Brigitte. Can cause a bit of a ruckus as well, trying to chase down the Reinhardt, not doing a bad job. Thankfully, the Ryan is all shielded up right now. Crimson will pushing through as well with the Zarya. Looking for a combination here with the Reinhardt. The self-destruct comes through. Actually doesn't find anyone. Nice shielding again coming out from Crimson Wolf. But it doesn't matter, Jordan. Masterminds are finding the picks they need to. Winning these 1v1 fights, doing pretty well. And look at this. They're going to chase down Avant all the way back into the spawn.
Crimson Wolf needed to be getting out of that one a little bit quicker because he had so much charge. And he's essentially thrown it away by hanging around there trying to look for a little bit more damage. If he would have fully backed out, I think he would have survived there. But Mastermind's able to chase him down, and that means Crimson Wolf needs to charge the energy back up. Means that Masterminds will be a little bit safer.
Nice pick.
Avant don't have that extra damage output from the charged up Xayah, but Graviton Surge is there available now. Winter looking for the Dragon Strike. That's the win condition for Avant Gaming. They've got 30 seconds to get it in, and they should be able to do that, but they just need to make sure that they don't drop too many players before that. Masterminds, their window is closing.
They are indeed. They played so well on defense
down.
at the start,
Oh, no.
and now they've lost 2 players. Graviton Surge ready to go. Not going to be used, though.
They've got 10 seconds.
Yeah,
I don't even know if they can make this work.
That's not enough time. Sleep Easy swaps across to
They have to go now.
To the Lucio, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They can't get back onto the point.
I think they can just get on the point, but it's really going to be
man.
the Graviton Surge combo that'll be make or break here for
Payload
Avant.
actually moved back quite a distance to allow them. They were quite fortunate that that's the case.
Eden!
Oh my goodness.
He ate it.
Nom. Diva with the right click. Defense Matrix slows it down. That is it. Avant, unfortunately, will not be able to finish point C here with the payload. Self-destruct just to finish things out from Masterminds. Lucio trying to get back onto the point. Not going to happen. Look, to be fair, I'm impressed they got there, but I feel like part of that was because the payload hadn't got as far as they wanted to begin with. In the end, what looked like maybe it was going to be a point A hold does get 2/3 of the way through to point C, so could have definitely been worse here for Avant, and it at least now is defendable. This is definitely a defendable spot.
Yeah, really smart at the end there from, who was it? August 9th, won the Zenyatta, pushing forward. For Masterminds, he knew that he had the Transcendence. He was pushing forward just to try and stagger Avant Gaming back a little bit. Not stagger in the sense that we normally say, but keep them at bay. There was only 10 seconds on the clock, so he goes forward, gets 5-ball out into Winter, puts him down on half HP. That gives Winter a little bit of pause for thought. He slows things down. The rest of Avant have to regroup around him, heal him up. That costs 1 or 2 extra seconds, and that allows Masterminds really to set themselves up, and more to the fact, it actually forces Avant to kind of rush in there, you know, running in like chickens without their heads on, and the Graviton Surge goes out. We saw, obviously, the Dragon Strike coming in a little bit late for Avant. There was still an opportunity to get that Dragon Ball combo off, but...
even if they had, though, right, the payload was so far back that by the time they probably would have been another 2 fights that they would have had to get through there.
But at least they would have still got a little bit further through.
A little bit further. Right now, it feels unlikely that if Masterminds can complete all the way through to point B, that they won't also be able to get past that point, heading towards point C. So for now, we're waiting for Addy, having some keyboard issues for whatever, maybe, I don't know, do you get mad?
It's angry.
That's what you do.
That'll be me. But he's not playing Winston, so he doesn't really have primal rage, does
Jordan, you get so mad when you're losing.
I don't get mad because I don't lose. Tell me, what have I ever lost at?
Okay, I'll save that one for Twitter. Anyway, Avant now on defense, Masterminds here on attack. Look, we're going to see a pirate ship, USMC back on the Bastion. That would be good.
Yeah, we might as well. Look, why not? Let's go. Let's go. You love to see it. I wonder if they're actually going to go for this, but I hope they do. Avant Gaming...
Do you sing songs when you play as the pirate ship?
Like, I don't ever play pirate ship.
Did you know that someone is starting up a sea shanty club in Sydney?
I didn't
First meeting's tomorrow night.
Okay, are you going? Or are you the one starting it up?
I don't know any...
Just trying to do like
a
shameless
I don't know the
plug.
words, though. No, I don't know the words.
Yar har fiddle-dee.
But I feel like...
Being a pirate is all right with me. Do what you want, because a pirate is free. You are a pirate. How about that?
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
I could go.
You should go.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you knew the words to pirate songs.
I don't know what that is, but I don't know where that song is from.
Right.
I can't remember what it's from. I just know the song.
Okay. But all I was trying to say, Jordan, okay, before you burst into song, was that
well, look, we've got some time.
When you play pirate ship, you should talk in a pirate voice and sing songs.
Yeah.
I wonder if they do on comms.
Maybe. Probably not.
Yar, the support is down, me hearties.
Let's stop. Maybe we should just cast the whole thing in pirate voice.
Oh, it can't be any worse. Let's be real. It cannot be any worse than what we currently provide. Anyway, oh, Paul McCree on the dartboard. Fortunately, they didn't really. I guess they got him in the chest, but that's it. So, Masterminds have made their way through to playoffs, locking in 3rd position. We'll see them go head-to-head with Order, who were until last week known as Blank Blue, who were at the start of Season 1 the most favoured team in the region. So, look, if you extrapolate all of that information, I don't know what you make of it, but the potential really is for Order to make life tough for Masterminds.
Absolutely, absolutely. But Masterminds, if they can continue on the up and up, maybe they can pose a threat to that Order roster. That's something to find out in a couple of weeks' time. For now, we shall see if this Bastion pirate ship composition is going to be able to pose a threat to Avant game. And the information should be given over to Avant, so they're already thinking about how they want to get this Bastion off the cart.
Yar, Captain, the cannon is loaded onto the deck.
I don't know if this is going to go
Sails
too well.
are set. I can't
Sail?
do that.
Yeah, actually, the shield kind of looks like
Why do you think it's called a pirate ship?
I don't know.
Anyway, let's see what USMC can do here. Firing up onto the top of the service station. Actually going to get hooked off. Stays alive, manages to get back onto the ship, back onto the payload, and pushes through. But the payload is now stopped, Jordan.
Yeah, the thing that's going to be the problem, though, for Avant is if they allow Masterminds to continue rolling that payload forward, that's how this strategy is going to work. Avant, if they find a way to stall it, then it's going to be much more difficult for USMC to get set up on the cart. But as long as he's set up, as long as the cart is moving, Masterminds can keep that momentum flowing, and Avant are really always going to be on the back foot, trying to figure out how they're going to get rid of USMC. And by that stage, it's probably going to be too late. Masterminds are already going to be pushed through first, probably pushed through second as well. And, well, it's not looking too good to start things off with for Avant, but they've changed the roster up a little bit. They've gone for GOAT's composition, so they want to run straight at the Bastion and try and fight it.
Certainly can't go any worse than how it went the first time around on defense. And, well, maybe GOATs will work here, particularly if you can get someone right on top of the Bastion, right in his face. You can't fire when there's someone knocking you back with a shield, Jordan. But at the moment, Avant is struggling to get up there to get in front of the Bastion. Crimswell getting forced back. August 9th finds the pick. USMC back into tank mode. Finds a pick. That's Legabril. No tank available. Tank being tank. He's not really a tank, but he's a tank, if you catch my drift.
Honestly, I don't know what you're trying to say.
He's not
really a tank, but he is a tank if you get my drift.
Yeah.
I didn't know tanks drifted.
Mate, have you not seen the video of the tanks like sliding around the corner?
I have.
Yeah, exactly. Got him. So, this is looking pretty good here for Masterminds. Avant struggling to put up any sort of concise defense. To be fair, you don't necessarily expect to see the Bastion again. It can be a bit of a pain to deal with if you know, everyone else pushes forward and you don't get that room to push through onto the payload or onto the Bastion. In this scenario, USMC actually holding quite a distance back, just providing some supporting fire. Now they know that Avant are downstairs underneath the building. Well, with that infra side up as well, it can make life very, very difficult for Avant to even get out of there. Whole Crim's Wolf down to August 9th. Noz does have the self-destruct available. Legabril pushing through, but Noz just sitting here behind the payload, and it's been very difficult for Avant to slow this down.
Has indeed. USMC's been playing very well on Bastion, rotating his position, not being too static, always being a headache, always playing those long angles. Legabril, well, he does get the Earth Shatter down. Sound Barrier is out as well from Avant Gaming, but it just does not look like it's going to be enough. They're all fighting in line of sight of USMC, and nobody is dealing with him. 3 kills coming out there for USMC. Maybe another one as well as this Holt comes across as well onto Numu. USMC is just slaughtering Avant. That's 5 kills for him in the fight, looking for 6.
Did you know that's prime military tactics right there, Jordan? You want to be firing down the line of the enemy, not into the line of the enemy. You know what I mean? You want to be firing from the side.
Sure, yeah, makes
Great
sense.
strats, great strats.
That way, if you miss, there's still another guy behind him you can hit.
Yeah, that's right. Firing down the trenches, and that's precisely what Masterminds were doing. You don't often get a chance to do that in Overwatch, but
Thanks,
working out
Commander
for them
Sandman.
this time around. Yep.
What were you, a lieutenant? Private? Private Sandman?
I was not a private, no. I was not. USMC, he would be a general right now, Jordan, because he's got the 6 strats.
Look at USMC. He's got their Orisa pocket, essentially, is what KS1 is, but they've left the rest of their team alive.
There we go.
On their own.
Yeah, that's what happens when you leave the rest of your team behind. You push too far forward, forgetting that behind you is a payload, and finally, they're going to pick USMC up.
All right, well, still 3.5 minutes for our Masterminds. They've actually been thundering through Route 66 so far. Wonder if USMC swaps off. Yeah, he does. He's on Hanzo now. So we've got a little bit of equilibrium restored in the Masterminds camp now.
Barrage comes through. Taki goes down. Finds one. One is not enough. However, Avant making their last stand here, Jordan. They've said, enough with the Bastion. We're sick of your rubbish. You're not going to beat us like this. And we're going to do everything we can to stop you in your tracks. Unfortunately, doesn't look to be enough.
Does not indeed. Storm arrows here for USMC.
Available as well.
Oof. Well, there's no Graviton Surge to combat with, so we're going to expect to see USMC just throw it out willy-nilly.
I'm ready for it. Throw it straight down into the middle of the team, as you would expect. Noz actually going to be the one who finds the kills. Masterminds 4-0 up against Avant Gaming. Congratulations. Secures themselves a spot in finals, secures themselves third place in Group B. Considering how their season started, Jordan, I think they'll take that now. They'll say, look, yeah, okay, it's not, we probably would have preferred second. We couldn't get it. Third's not so bad. We can now prepare for order in playoffs. This is something that we are capable of winning.
I definitely think that's a good result for Masterminds. You know, coming into this season with a new roster, they basically never played with each other. Obviously, some of the players will have in past teams and that kind of thing, but it was a new roster coming into the season, so you can't expect first place. You can't really expect second place. Kanga definitely stepped things up this season as well, which made life a little bit more difficult, I suppose, for Masterminds in terms of getting into that second position. But for Masterminds, I think that's an acceptable result. It's a good base to build off. Probably not going to be making it to to Rod Laver Arena, if I'm going to be honest, Ben. I don't think they have enough to get past order. But in saying that, they've secured their place into the next season of Overwatch Contenders. They've got a good base to build off. Third in their group, not a bad result. Give this roster some more time, and I definitely think that they can be something pretty special. So for Masterminds, I think they have to be happy with how the season has gone.
There's unfalating fire, Jordan. That's what you want. And USMC finds all of the kills, big plays across the board. But let's be real. Again, a lot of that, you saw that his team, if you want to play Bastion in comp, you need your team supporting you. And that's precisely what he got. You can't just go out and do it and hope for the best. You need to move around. You need that support. And that kind of lets you look like a cool kid. But really, it's just everyone helping you.
He pretty much had the Pocket Mercy and the Pocket Orisa for the entire time that he was playing Bastion there. 4-0 today for Masterminds. You would have hoped to see Avant really being able to challenge in this series, but at the end of the day, they didn't even come close to Masterminds there, did they? Like, Route 66 was probably the closest map that we saw. That was the best result that Avant had. And even then, that was like 2 minutes still left on the clock for Masterminds to play with when they finally capped out that third point. So, all in all, I think Masterminds have had a fairly good day today. It was a confident win. It was comprehensive. And Avant, unfortunately, they just didn't have enough at all this season. They had one good result, which was in week 1. That was against Pixel. We sort of stood up and went, wow, this Avant roster is going to maybe be something. But 5 weeks later down the track, now we're here in week 5, and Avant, unfortunately, really haven't done much past that one result that they had, and as a result, that's not enough to get them through to playoffs. So very, very unfortunate for the Avant roster. Going back down now to Trials, and we will see whether or not we get to see them next season in Contenders.
Well, I would like to think we will see Avant in Season 3. Trials, maybe that's what they need right now. They'll come back bigger, stronger, ready to compete in Season 3 of Overwatch Contenders Australia. Masterminds through to playoffs, as we said. Congratulations. But right now, it's time for another Macca's play of the game. McDonalds Australia play of the game, Masterminds up against Avant Gaming. USMC here on the Genji. Look at that, he finds 3, including Crimson Wolf. And the big point here, Jordan, was that Crimson Wolf had just thrown out the self-destruct, was out of the mech, and USMC comes through before he gets back into the mech, cleans him up, no more Diva. Don't have to worry about that one, cleans up the rest of the team. And the other point I guess we can talk about is that it's so important if you can use one ultimate to stop an entire push.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really, really critical at that point on Temple of Anubis, because I was talking so much about the ult economy, how Winter needed to get a good Dragon Blade off there where there wasn't a Transcendence.
Yeah.
And then by that time, we already saw that, you know, USMC was going pretty crazy on the defensive side with its own Dragon Blades, making it so that the fights that didn't have the defensive support ultimates out from Masterminds was still won based on the aggression and the big kills out from USMC on the Dragon Blade. So really, really good from USMC. He's going to be enjoying the Macca's play of the game. He gets to join the Cool Kid Club, all the other guys with that Macca's play of the game already. So Masterminds...
Should make a badge.
Yeah, we should. I mean, maybe when we get to MEO, maybe when we get to finals. But overall, today, at the end of the day, Masterminds, they'll be feeling very pleased. They're going to be happy. And now it is time, Ben, for us to kind of look forward to our next matchup, because that's really if we've had, you know, the happy meal, we're now going to be getting the Big Mac meal, because this is going to be the big one, Ben.
The barbecue bacon lovers meal. That's what I like to call it, Jordan, because it's my favorite. The top of the table clash. Kanga up against Darksider. Both teams undefeated. Both teams coming up next. We're taking a break, and when we come back, more Overwatch Contenders action. See you soon.